And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson. Today we've got plenty to get to in the NFL. Lots of record-breaking performances, as well as one of the worst starts to a career. You could probably guess who we're going to get into when we talk about said player. Reminder before we get there, though, that today's episode is presented to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. This stupid light.
What you got going over there, pal?
Why is this so loose?
You want me to tighten it for you? All right, I can tighten it from
no,
the back.
just leave it. Just leave it.
Get you
Just
from the
leave
back.
it. Just leave it.
All right.
Leave it.
Gotcha.
Today's episode is presented to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. If you're going to be betting on college football in the NFL, the rest of this season, before it's too late, before everything is gone and we enter the abyss of no football,
Oh, no.
make sure you head on over to FanDuel. It's almost December. It should be a real
Why even
sobering
mention
realization.
that, man? That's my job to ruin everyone's time in December.
Real sobering realization. Head on over to FanDuel for all the latest
I won't be
odds,
sober. I
best
guarantee you that.
bets. Any bets that you like coming
Well,
up, by the way?
You know what? I'm already looking ahead to Thanksgiving in those games. We have Detroit per FanDuel favored by 2.5 versus Green Bay. Kansas City favored by 3 versus Dallas. That's going to be maybe best game of the day. And then Baltimore favored by 7 versus Cincy in a possible Joe Burrow return matchup as the nightcap. So we could have a very nice slate of ball for Thanksgiving. And obviously these lines are going to change. Everyone's going to be involved in it. Don't be left out at Thanksgiving when all your buddies and your family and your dad are trying to do a group squad parlay for the game or same game parlay, whatever it is. Get in on the action. Go to FanDuel. It's the best gambling day of the year. I think it clears the Super Bowl. It clears all the college stuff. Thanksgiving Day, best all time.
All right, Sean. Let's start by talking about Colts versus Chiefs, because this game was absolute nail biter. Goes to overtime. Super tense battle between two of the top teams in the AFC. Chiefs desperately needed this one. They needed to come out on top if they wanted to stay in the hunt and have an easy path towards being one of the final teams in the AFC playoff. Probably not going to win the AFC West, but we'll see what happens there. I'm not going to sit here and dunk on the Colts for the way that they finished and losing this game, because you go to overtime, a 3-point loss against Patrick Mahomes and company, but they've now lost 2 of the last 3 games since they started 7-1. All 3 of the Colts losses this season have come on the road. They're 2-3 on the road, while they're 6-0 at home. And the Colts have scored exactly 20 points in each of their 3 losses. I'm not really putting this as a Colts panic moment. This is a lot more of a, hey, Mahomes and the Chiefs always have urgency when it matters the most.
Tired take, Colts are falling apart. Wired take, Daniel Jones is as good as Patrick Mahomes, taking him to the final stretch. That's how I'm looking at it. All jokes, of course. Thanks. Playing into that one. Look, the Chiefs are getting fine. I predicted they'd be fine. They're going to keep on rolling. Still a little scary, which I think is good for the NFL season. I like that there's a team that is supposed to be really good that's going to have to be in a playoff game in every single matchup for the rest of the season. The Colts, as we were saying at the beginning of the year, we don't need to trash them, but they ain't played nobody, Paul. And now they started playing some other teams, and we're starting to figure them out a little more. Daniel Jones, as predicted by this gentleman, regressing back to the mean a bit.
Yeah, so here's what...
Without being mean. That's how it's without being mean, though.
Look back and say, here's the thing. I don't feel particularly vindicated in this moment, because it's not like he did it against a middling team. I understand that the Chiefs' record looks like they're middling, but this isn't one that I necessarily take pride in going suck it. You lost by 3 in overtime to a team that's gone to multiple Super Bowls in the last 5 years. The team in the midst of a dynasty. Oh, yeah, suck it. You're real shit for not accomplishing that. DJ, his stat line wasn't spectacular. Jonathan Taylor had an uncharacteristic day where he didn't have his usual level or degree of just ridiculous dominance. I don't feel like that this is the one game where I'm going to really dig into them. If they continue this trend and they fall on their face and they finish the year with five or so losses, whatever it ends up being, then yeah, I gladly will take the victory lap at the end of the year.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because the rest of the year for
also,
Indy,
wait, hold on a second. Moron in the chat, leave, dude. I don't care. But like, leave because I'm wearing a Notre Dame sweatshirt. Like, I don't trust his opinions. Shut up.
You shouldn't.
Shut up and leave. I
shouldn't trust
don't
his
like
opinions.
Eat shit. Not in the mood for this.
Oh no!
Why
Why are you running him off?
I don't care. Yeah, I hope he left. Asshat. I'm not tired as shit from that damn flight yesterday, and it was like a whirlwind of crap I had to get done for work today.
Oh my gosh!
Gassed as all hell. Sorry, what were you saying?
I actually felt super bad today. So Shane Bowen got fired early as hell. I'm
Dude, I woke up and I'm like,
no way.
Like, can I just have a normal morning?
I didn't even text.
It didn't ruin my morning. Really, legitimately ruin my morning. 8 o'clock they had to do that. Couldn't I? Hate the Giants. Legitimately hate the Giants. They announced news at the worst possible time. Oh, hey, Jackson Dart's going to get announced for starting him when you're at the grocery store. Oh, we're going to fire Brian Daboll. You're in the middle of a bunch of other shit as well. I hate covering the Giants with such a passion.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's too early for this. This is not when it's supposed to be.
Do it at 5 o'clock. Actually, no, that would have been worse. If they did it at like at 1 o'clock, that would have been nice.
All right, NFL teams, you're on notice from Mr. DeLeone. As I was saying, Colts.
Now this guy's being a bigot talking about Catholics. All right, this guy sucks.
The Colts could be in legit trouble, and there could be opportunities for them to be in a real panic mode. They still have not played Houston. They still have not played Jacksonville. They have 4 matchups in division that they have to go through. Their last other 2 games, Seattle and San Fran. So that leaves Indy in a legitimate playoff march through the rest of the season. They only got 8 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, am I favoring them in a lot of these games? No, I'm not favoring them against Seattle or San Francisco. And then they're splitting with Jacksonville and Houston, I think, if they're lucky right now. Maybe not as much with Houston, but that is a scary sight to see, is the back gauntlet. You haven't certified a playoff amount of wins yet. You haven't done that. They've done good, right? Like to this point. But can Daniel Jones and this squad actually get big time wins down the stretch where it matters? That's going to be a real challenge for them. New team, you're not playing cupcakes anymore. You have to win these divisional games or else you get set. Jacksonville got lucky yesterday against Arizona. I'm not saying they're a great team, but they have enough fight to be able to push Indy. So they got to get right a little bit, I think.
This was part of what we did talk about after they started to stumble, and we had this conversation, and the game against the Steelers where Daniel Jones was atrocious. He just had a complete, utter meltdown. That was when we were really dunking on him, because that was against a team that they absolutely needed to beat in order to continue their momentum. We looked at the schedule and we walked through it, and one thing that was very clear, multiple challenges in the division. There's a chance that they could still lose the division, and you just mentioned there's Seahawks, 49ers, Brock Purdy's back. It's going to be a tough stretch for them. This is the real prove it moment. If Daniel Jones wants that damn contract, and everybody's kind of just assumed it's a foregone conclusion that he's getting it, he's going to have to step up to the challenge. We just mentioned here them having to face off with, or do you have anything else in that game before I get
I hope the Colts win the Super Bowl still.
Oh, screw off. We just mentioned the Seahawks, though. We got to talk about Jaxon Smith-Njigba because he is on an unreal run at the current moment. I don't think enough people are giving him love for being in the Offensive Player of the Year race. I think that he should arguably be on the outside, not leading, but on the outside of the MVP discussion. Just throw him into the back end, like 4th, 5th, or 6th or whatever, because his stats after another awesome game this weekend, I know it was against the Titans, he is pacing towards what is going to be a memorable season. He now has set the Seahawks single season receiving yards record in just 11 games. He is the 3rd player in NFL history with 75 plus receiving yards in each of his first 11 games in a season. And he's also on pace to be the first 2,000-yard receiver. He's on pace for 2,029 yards. Now, the one stipulation that does come with this, I feel like every time we pull up a guy, his numbers, and he's trending towards something, and it's like, whoa, he's going to be the first 2,000-yard receiver, something gets in the way. Cooper Kupp was the last guy that we all thought was going to happen. He just fell short.
Bijan was supposed to have 2,500 scrimmage yards this year. That's not happening.
But when was that? When was that projected? When was that projected?
First 6 weeks.
Don't go take a run at Bijan. We're 11 games into the season now, so it's a little bit different.
I got you. I'm just letting you know we're
okay.
enough.
We're a little deeper now.
Hey,
a little deeper now.
I was just giving another example of the pacing.
Okay.
We're not taking a run at Bijan.
I'm not taking a run at Bijan. I'm just pointing out that a
sounded like you were taking a little run at him.
A 6-game trend is a lot different than a 11-game trend.
I'm with you. Well, he is trending upright. This guy, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, I got to walk back again. I think I rephrased it last time we really had a serious discussion with it. It wasn't hate. I think I have to walk back my underhyping of him. It was, I guess, unfamiliarity with his game at the NFL. He's got it all. He really does. Body control, great hands. He's got that speed that you're looking for from a young receiver, and he's doing a lot of the vet stuff also. And that's leading him into conversations I didn't think we'd be having about him. I mean, the timeline, the football sphere, they're starting to acknowledge this guy as going into that top tier of wide receivers, joining Jamar Chase, joining Justin Jefferson. Instead of it being a big 2, maybe we're looking at a big 3 with JSN joining him. And he's doing it kind of the same. Deep ball guy, can get the catches over the middle with the slant, can run the intermediate route tree, sure-handed. You need a big play, that's who you're going to. That's how you become a top 5 wide receiver of the league, is a consensus from dopes like us, is if you make the big play when they need you to. Because in that game versus Tennessee, it was tight to start. It was. Tennessee was giving them some real bump. Seahawks weren't scoring. And you know who they turned to? JSN. Throw it deep to the dude, and he started making plays. They started scoring, and they ran away with it. So when you have a guy like that on that team, or on a team that can completely flip the switch with a couple big plays on offense, that's how you enter that conversation. That's what Jamar did. That's what Justin Jefferson did. And it's really time to have that legit conversation that he could be top 3, and definitely pushing those 2 to their limits.
Right. I think that now, with the way that he's pacing and the way that he's jumped into, like, clearly being the most productive guy, he has to be in the mix for one of the top. It's almost kind of like ridiculous to say that. It should just be obvious at this point. His stat production, after having a solid start to his career and the aggressive jump to this point, he is one of these receivers that feels like he's perfect for the modern NFL. He's just completely perfect for the way that offenses want to operate and the way that they want to be able to attack space, the way that QBX's running this offense. Like, all this stuff is just aligned in the best way possible. I do think that Sam Darnold is a driving force for this team being as successful as they are, but I would argue where we're at this point that the biggest driver for success is JSN.
Yeah. And shocker, after the 1 year that we saw where Sam Darnold had an elite wide receiver and the year that he put together, let's put him with another really good young wide receiver. And oh, wow, it's kind of replicated a bit. Maybe that's what this guy needed. Did he have an elite receiver when he was with the Jets? Did he have any? No. Maybe the guy needed somebody who could get open and make a catch. Also, he's targeting Smith-Njigba a ton. 2024, he had 100. JSN had 137 targets. He's already got 107 on the young season. 6 more games to play. He's going to shatter it, man. He's going to keep on running up the numbers. I don't know if he gets to 2,000. That's just such a big number for me to fathom. I'm not sure if he gets.
Yeah, but we're talking about he's got 700 to go, and they've played 11 games.
I know, 6 more. He's got 6 more.
So if he,
so he needs like 115 a game.
Sure, I'm not going to sit here and do the math, but yeah, I mean, that's totally plausible for him to be able to accomplish that. I mean, he's done it all year long.
Selfishly, I don't want him to pass Julio on the yardage. I know. I don't want him to, but it's such a good season. I'll respect it. That's the cool thing about NFL records is when a season like this really happens, it feels like everyone acknowledges it. Like what Myles Garrett's doing and how he's going to break this season single sack record. Like, we're all kind of witnessing it, acknowledging it. I hope he does it in 16, by the way, so we can denote that he broke a 16-game record. Same thing with JSN. If he does it, if he breaks the all-time yardage record, I hope he does it in 16 games so I don't have to hear something, any boob or yokel telling me, oh, you needed 17 or don't count. Do it in 16, please. Please, I can't have it. I can't be validating a player who I enjoy watching
That's
him break
a big
record.
ask, though. We're talking about him doing that in 5 games.
I know.
700 yards.
I know. I understand.
It's possible with the games that he's put up. I mean, it's absolutely plausible for it to come to fruition. Nobody thought it was plausible, though, that the Eagles would lose to the Cowboys after they went up 21-0. This was a game I think a lot of people just mailed it in and thought, oh, man, typical Cowboys BS. Brian Schloppenheimer is going to completely blow this thing, and this team wasted all those big moves at the trade deadline. Lo and behold, they surged 24 unanswered points to win the game. This is the 4th win in franchise history in which the Cowboys trailed by exactly 21 points. The last time that they did it was at St. Louis in 2014. They also had a victory in 1999 at the Washington Redskins, and in week 8 of 1984 against the Saints. Another part with this, and this is the crazy thing, the Cowboys are kind of decently positioned to sneak their way into the playoff. Now, the NFC has a lot of competitive teams this year. It's kind of flipped on its head where we've got all these teams with really good records. They're 5-5-1. They have a 9% chance to make the playoffs and a 2% chance to win the NFCs. But you never know. I mean, they weren't expected to pull off this win, so who knows whatever the hell they're going to do.
Offense is potent, man. I'll admit it. This Cowboys offense is exciting. The Javonte Williams revitalization in the league is refreshing. He runs hard. He looks healthy. He looks strong. He's not going to burn every DB on the field on the way to an 80-yard touchdown, but he gets chunk plays. It's not just a big bruiser that runs for 3 yards. He finds a seam and gets it going. The Cowboys have a running back. They have 2 stellar wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb back doing his thing, and then George Pickens. How refreshing is that this year?
Yeah.
What he's doing. I mean, it feels like every game he gets found on a deep crossing route and then catches the ball one-handed or some freaky catch and goes for another 15 yards, punching defenders on the way out of bounds. Like it's actually a good offense. I'm going to respect it. I'm going to throw some respect to Dak. Just broke the record for the most passing yards in Cowboys team history. Needs 12 touchdown passes to break Romo's touchdown record in team history. What are we going to say about this guy when it's said and done? Because he's going to have the Cowboys records. I mean, they won't have the Super Bowl records, the ring records, but is he going to be the best passer the Cowboys have ever had? I'm not sure, but I would hate to see the Cowboys waste such a good season of his and where the offense actually showed up and the defense might be getting better. Is that scary? Like, can I say that the defense might be getting a little bit better?
I would hope so after they brought in Quinnen Williams. And here's the thing. Quinnen Williams had a career-high 8 pressures on 30 pass rush reps in this game. I don't think that I'm going to reframe that. Yeah, it's gotten better. And I think for them to lock down the way that they did to finish this game off and completely remove the Eagles offense from the equation, I think a lot of that comes down to bringing in Williams. It really does feel like that there's now a presence that they desperately were looking for in the interior to seriously cause problems. Quinnen Williams was the missing piece. As much as we could sit here and clown the Micah trade, it might have been more impactful than we're willing to recognize.
It's looking good right now. It's not looking like Jared is having made a bad move right now. Okay. Now the Packers are still winning. Micah's still making plays, but the Cowboys getting that win against the Eagles is kind of ridiculous. How do the Eagles go from we're going to target AJ Green, we're going to target Devontae Smith down the field, deep ball, carve you up, Jalen Hurts putting on a show in the first quarter, the first probably 25 minutes of the game actually, and then disappear? Why do they flatline? Why are they a team that last year they could, if the offense was stalling, just turn to the backfield and say, fix this, big guy, help us out, Saquon, give us a boost that we need. And then this year, that's not there. It's really starting to become a concern. I'm not putting them on the fraud watch list. I still think that the team is so deep. The defense still plays really well, but it's concerning when the offense goes away and then can't find the pulse, because offenses go away. You can see an NFL team, a great NFL team, disappear for a quarter. Even in the Chiefs, when they had Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, I was rolling like they went down like 24-0 to the Houston in the playoffs, and then they for a quarter, and then they turned it on for 3, and they got back in it. So even really good offenses can do that, but the Eagles, when they get in that funk, they can't get out of it. That's a problem.
By the way, just to go back to the Cowboys playoff scenario, as I kind of alluded to, there is a bit of an uphill battle because these are the teams that they're effectively fighting with to get in. Packers, Seahawks are in the 5 seed. The Packers are in the 6 seed. The 49ers are in the 7 seed. They all have records better than 7-4. The Lions are out of the playoff picture at the current moment at 7-4. Panthers are ahead of the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys are at 10. So they would need you've got all these like really quality, solid franchises that are doing really good stuff this year. Someone's going to miss it of the group I just mentioned. So for the Cowboys to end up getting into the mix, it's going to be really, really hard. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. They would need a lot of things to bounce their way. But at least if you finish the year strong, it's one of those things where you start to feel pretty good about yourself in the direction that things are turning.
You know, I didn't hear you mention Atlanta for the about being.
No, they're dog
Cowboys.
shit.
Oh,
Your
sorry.
team
They got a win
sucks.
yesterday. I thought that might have boosted them in the playoff chances.
See, the Falcons are the one team that they're 4-7, man. They're the one of those.
Win out, Kirk. Come on.
Wait, what was the fun? Did I end up covering on that bet that I pitched? No, it was in the leg, right? It was in the parlay leg. Never mind. Regardless, Sean, next game I want to get to, and before we get there, I want to remind everybody to go and check out our friends over at FanDuel. Today's episode and every single episode is presented to you by our great friends over at FanDuel. If you're going to be betting on the NFL, go on over to FanDuel. Rams Bucs ended up being quite the boring performance on Sunday night. It made things pretty easy for going to bed early after our long journey back from Idaho. It was over in the first quarter. It was one of those ones where you kind of just kept you could get a little distracted and you'd look up like, oh, there's another big Devontae Adams catch. Oh, Baker's out of the game, and now Teddy Bridgewater's in the game. Credit to Teddy B for popping in. He didn't totally look like he was in game shape. There was one scramble he had. He's wearing that big puffy sweatshirt underneath his jersey. I'm like, Teddy Bridgewater looks a lot bigger than usual Teddy Bridgewater.
He's in high school coach
Yeah,
shape. That
was what I thought. I was like, he looks like he's been coaching high school ball. Anyone who's got like a former
walking around the cafeteria,
Yeah.
having a little some of the pregame meal, a lot of pasta. Hey, Teddy B's living the life.
We got just an absolute clinic from the Rams where they built a lead and they just kind of chilled for the entire second half. Here's one really underrated narrative with this that I feel like I don't see enough people talking about. Emmanuel Forbes, the super underweight DB from Mississippi State that was labeled a bust and a cast-off, doesn't stick with the Commanders, ends up on the Rams, has the game of his life, and is starting to show some signs of why he was so highly regarded back when he was drafted. He did not allow a single reception on his 33 coverage snaps in the game, despite being targeted 7 times. No other defender has been targeted at that many times in a game without allowing a reception this season. Forbes looked awesome. He had 5 pass breakups, and I kind of wonder, is he one of the pieces that they needed on defense to really hit their stride to become the best team in the NFC?
There's not a player on the planet that I don't think that would be better by going to the Los Angeles Rams, is what I'd say. The Rams are becoming the new Patriots, where, you know, we don't want you want to be here if you want to win football games and get better. Like, that's the situation that they've developed. It's impressive because I watched a lot of Emmanuel Forbes when he was with Washington. He looked confused. He looked shaky. He didn't look very instinctual. He didn't look like he was keeping up with the receivers physically. He was getting pushed around a lot and couldn't stay healthy because of his frame. Goes to LA and looks like the guy that you would have hoped he could have blossomed into when he got to the league. I don't know if they do tender love and care in LA. I don't know if they do harsh in your face truth and reality. Wake up, fix this, and you'll be good. But it works. It's a really good story. Forbes, I mean, if you're a first rounder that didn't work on a team, tell your agent, I want to go to LA. I don't care how little they're going to pay me. Fix me in LA, and they will. The track record is long. It's such a good team, man. We're not glazing Stafford enough either.
Yeah.
Like, he's just putting on a masterclass. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Hasn't thrown a pick in 8 weeks or something like that. Just you can't say enough good things about what he's doing with this offense. It's all working. I don't think they have a weak spot on the team, which makes it very dangerous. I mean, they have it all. And it's not because they have all the stars. It's a different situation than Philly. I started digging into it. Their offensive line, Joe, they don't have a first rounder starting. They have 2 UDFAs starting, and Alaric Jackson and Coleman Shelton, their center. They have 1 second rounder. That's Steve Avila, the guard. A 4th rounder in Kevin Dotson, their right guard. And a 5th rounder in Warren McClendon Jr. How? How am I watching the Eagles, which is a team compiled of first rounders, second rounders out of the best SEC programs, and the Rams are better with guys that couldn't get a sniff on other teams in the league? I don't get it. Whatever metric that they use to evaluate talent, it's just better than other teams. It's so far beyond, because this isn't the first time this happened. Their defense has been littered with dudes like this for years.
Well, this is part of what I think stands out so much about the Rams, is that they're so great at constructing their team and maximizing the guys on their team that are not the prototype, that don't fit the mold of what you usually look for. You just mentioned there, you've got a bunch of mid to late round guys starting on your offensive line, guys that many would have just assumed would not have been useful starters, would not have been useful players for their franchises, end up being key contributors on the offensive line. Emmanuel Forbes is an example of a guy who was underweight and was performing poorly because of his size and was considered to be a physical outlier even when he was drafted. And now he is shining in that defense. I think I look at their defensive line where Jared Verse, maybe he's a little bit, does actually fit the prototype of an edge rusher, but they're getting the most out of him. And then
they
you got
hit.
Braden Fisk is this super undersized, length limited defensive tackle who is a total menace in the interior. That's the point, is that they know how to get the most out of guys that I think most teams assume won't.
My team gets the least out of their guys. And that's what I think a lot of teams and fans have to cope with. I'm coping with it big time this year. I think a lot of other teams are, because when you actually start to go under the curtain, under the hood with what Los Angeles does, it realize how sloppy and shoddy your organization is. I mean, in a direct comparison, Nate Landman, who has been a super impact linebacker for the Rams, cast off from Atlanta. So we don't want you. We're good. We don't want you. He's got 4 forced fumbles this year for Los Angeles. Huge impact contributor on the defense. They got him for a bag of chips.
Didn't they just give him an extension too?
Yeah. Hey, we found you. We like you. We'll keep you. God, they're just smarter than everybody. It's frustrating. It's also frustrating that they're sitting in LA. This team and how they're operating should be in a real football town with fans that show up and get up for this team. That stadium with this team should be sold out. There should be a waiting list to get in it to see the best football put on the planet. No other sport would do the best team in their league dirty like this and just be like LA. Like, oh, I don't need to go to a football game. I don't need to support this team. Do better, Los Angeles. You have a sick team.
I do think that's one of the funniest things, by the way, with the Rams, is that you go to a game and most of the opposing crowd is in the stands. And I think most Rams fans that I talk to aren't from LA. Like, they don't live in LA. They don't go to the games because they're not anywhere near the stadium. It's one of the weirdest fan bases that you're ever going to find in a sport. I will say it's truly disappointing because they have a ridiculously nice stadium and they have every reason to attract the biggest and the best names, which they typically have a chance to do in free agency, because, I mean, it's sick if you have a shitload of money to live in LA, to get a gigantic house and to be, part of the scene out there. Maybe you won't be as highly recognized as a celebrity if you're a big
TikTok
dumpy offensive lineman.
Freaking, who's the kid that just Jack Doherty is getting more recognized in LA than Emmanuel Forbes is. Probably even more than Aaron Donald, to be honest. It's just what a trash city.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who lived there, I don't really disagree with that. We got to end off with what has become one of the most embarrassing things in the NFL. JJ McCarthy. We've talked about him a lot on the show. And I think that it's fine to make this statement, and I think it's completely okay to make the statement of he's 6 games or whatever into his career. He hasn't played that much. Let's give him a little bit of time before he figures it out. The problem is that in order for him just to get up to average, just to play at a very average level in the NFL, it is going to require gigantic leaps of improvement. He has errant passes that are hitting the ground, not even going anywhere near receivers. He's throwing jaw-dropping interceptions. He has become not only the worst quarterback in the NFL in his time that he started, but he has become arguably one of the worst first-round picks that we've ever seen, worst starting quarterbacks we've ever seen. He has, this is per True Media, JJ McCarthy ranks 851st out of 852 eligible quarterbacks since 2000. The only player who is worse than that was Jamarcus Russell. Now, let's take a quick comparison, a gander over at the starting first 6 games for JJ McCarthy and Jamarcus Russell. 929 yards for JJ, 1,051 for Jamarcus. 6 touchdowns for JJ, 5 for Jamarcus. 10 picks compared to 3 for Jamarcus. 54.1%, 54.5, so pretty similar there. Passer rating for JJ, 57.9. Jamarcus is 76.9.
He wasn't even watching film.
20 sacks. Well, this is, so I'm going to get to that in a second. 20 sacks for JJ, 16 for Jamarcus Russell. Here's the one thing that I want to allow for everybody, because I don't think no one should be defending JJ McCarthy. That's the most important part about this.
Yeah.
Don't defend him. Let him defend himself by going out there and figuring out how to get better.
Yep.
Jamarcus Russell was uber shit and has become statistically the worst quarterback to start a career ever on a team that had, frankly, no weapons, on amongst a very toxic situation with Lane Kiffin and Al Davis, wasn't watching film, as you said, and was a gigantic fat oaf who was extremely overweight for a quarterback.
God,
he was well over 300 pounds.
I love them so much.
He was too fat to play quarterback in the NFL. And I was thinking about this in my head. I'm like, okay, he had all those problems. We have this big fat dude who sucked because he was lazy and lethargic. What's wrong with JJ? What's JJ's problem? JJ acts like he's trying real damn hard. How did we at least can identify, that guy was extremely physically gifted and he just really mailed it in.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here with JJ. What's going on, bud? What's going on?
Yeah, it's not good. I don't like beating this kid up. He's just a kid in the league.
I don't care anymore. I really don't care. I've tried to be polite about this. But like, I'm beyond that point. If you're this bad, you are not safe.
I'm really just I'm victory lapping about all the people that were like yelling in my face about how JJ McCarthy was the truth, and it didn't matter that the ball was taken out of his hands in important games in college, and it didn't matter that he barely threw the ball in college or didn't even play that much or lost to TCU and didn't have a killer instinct or any of these things that I mentioned. Everyone laughed in my face and told me I was a jackass for because he had a big arm and he was 6'5" and he ran around a lot. That's my victory lap. Remember when I told you he was going to throw a bunch of big picks and brutal passes and that, how's it going? I also made a prediction, Joe. He would start less than 30 games in the league. How's that looking? Said that on this show, less than 30. You know why? Because I knew, because people get too overhyped. He was one of these quarterbacks. You need an example? Arch this year. Arch is better than JJ McCarthy, but good God, did you see how aggressively hyped he was going into the season? That's what you all did with JJ. And you're seeing the effect. So calm down when you see a prospect that makes it tingle a little bit in your pants and you don't know why. All right? Because this is the result. You have a team that has tons of talent that was constructed in a masterclass this offseason. Depth at every position. Big additions, leadership, vets, young guys, fast-flowing defense. Anything you could need. How about the wonderkind head coach that we were promised that could fix any quarterback and could make any quarterback a winner? What if he gets a lemon?
This is the craziest part about all of this, is that you consider what they did last year was evidence that they had the right roster, that they had the right coaches, that they had everything.
They were Seattle last year, and they would have been Seattle this year if they had Darnold.
Or if they had Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
Or if, I don't even know who else they theoretically could have brought in. Here's the really
They have more wins with Jameis, and I swear to God, I'm not kidding. They have
more
wins with Jameis.
Easily would have more. I mean, have you watched Jameis play?
I love
played
Jameis
his ass
Winston.
off.
I love your team, and I'll never stop loving the Giants.
Shut up. He mossed and completely dogged. Had to have been one of the craziest plays that I've watched live. I'm just like looking at him like
tremendous.
I watched Gunnar Olszewski take that pass. I'm like, who's he throwing that to? Wait, where's Jameis? Oh my God. You're just watching Jameis pull off the craziest box out like he was playing pickup basketball. And then he barreled his way to the end zone. Well, the funniest thing that I've ever watched. Could not have better summed up Jameis's time with the Giants. I hope they give him a statue for that play. Here's the one thing that it's extremely disturbing, though, now with the JJ McCarthy stuff. This is per Pro Football Talk. This came out earlier. O'Connell announced on Monday that JJ McCarthy is in concussion protocol. O'Connell said McCarthy reported having concussion symptoms on the flight home after Sunday's loss to the Packers in Green Bay. Brosmer will take first-team reps while McCarthy is working his way through the protocol and will start against the Seahawks if McCarthy is not cleared for the game. I know that we have to kind of be careful here with the head injury stuff, so I'm not accusing JJ of doing anything here, and I'm not calling him soft for saying that he entered the concussion protocol. So I don't want that to be what we're talking about.
Jetto's probably hit him in the back of the head with a sack of nickels for playing so shit. 6 targets? This is what you get, JJ. Think about it on your flight.
I just find it a little odd that it's very convenient that he suddenly enters the protocol, and this has happened twice now where suddenly something's physically wrong with him after he's played uber dog shit. Like, no, guys. Something, he was broken. You know what I really want? I want Max Brosmer, who Ryan and I got the chance to talk to leading up to the draft, and he seemed so intentional and super smart. And some people have said that he has every capability to become a longtime NFL backup and is just super underrated and has done great things with Minnesota for stepping in as the third QB.
He was at UNH, right?
He was at UNH. He transferred to Minnesota. I want that kid to take the job. I want this to be a Brock Purdy situation. I think this legitimately could be a Purdy situation. Because here's seriously, in all seriousness, and I don't think I'm that batshit for putting this out there. There was some speculation that people have kind of joked about how the Vikings haven't wanted to put Brosmer out there because if Brosmer looks better than McCarthy, then it really causes a serious problem. We all remember when Purdy stepped in after Lance went down and then Garoppolo went down and then everything started to work. And why did he work? Physically was not as toolsy as any of the other guys, but he was just so much smarter.
Yeah.
I think Max Brosmer's got a lot of that Brock Purdy in him where he's not as physically imposing, but he's just smart, intentional kid who goes out there, takes as much of an opportunity, advantage of the opportunity as possible, and just runs away with it.
You know what happens when you don't have all the tools? You don't try to do the most. And this is actually my first time taking a raw look at the JJ McCarthy box score from yesterday. Holy shit.
I don't even pull it up because I didn't want to. I knew that it was going to make me more incensed than I already was.
A little nauseating.
12
of 19. Okay, you completed. You only hit 7 incompletions. All right, JJ. 87 pass yards. Did he play a quarter? No, he played 4 quarters. 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, 5 sacks taken.
I saw somebody posted, and
and a fumble.
I don't know. Wait, let me pull this up really quickly. I don't know if this is real or not because it's not like it was from like somebody who covers the team or anything like that. This was egregious. You would have a 39. This is per at JJ McGlazer. You would have a 39.6 QB rating if you went 0 for 20 with 20 spiked passes. McCarthy had a 34.2 rating. I don't know if that's real. I am no mathematician, statistician, analytics guru. Sure. I don't know how that shit works.
You wear glasses, though. I'd figure you knew it.
No, these are fake. That would have to have been. I didn't want to run around touting that one because again, it's from JJ McGlazer.
Yeah, that's awful. That's really bad. Vikings fans are in hell. And honestly, I don't know if they deserve to be in hell. Maybe they do. Maybe they do for flying too close to the sun. Maybe I hate the Vikings for thinking they knew better. You never know better in the NFL. Sometimes you get lucky and you have something drop on your doorstep like a miracle Sam Darnold season. And you know what they did? They looked that freaking gift horse right in the mouth and they said, "Get out of here, horse. Go on, horse. Get out of here. Go to Seattle and win a bunch of ball games. We'll take another horse. Oh, this horse has 3 legs. Oh, no. This horse doesn't like people. No, people can't sit up on this horse. This is a problem for us." Well, let's see. We're going to get a new horse or we're going to ride with this horse for the next 3 years, hurting others. You know what they're going to do?
He's going to keep biting people.
He's going to keep biting people. Little apple. Yeah, it's gone. Finger gone. Bad spot.
JJ, you know that episode of Family Guy where Peter buys a horse and the horse is just like completely useless?
Mm-hmm.
That's JJ McCarthy.
It's a rough scene. It's a rough scene for the horses in Minnesota.
I need somebody to do an edit with JJ McCarthy. Peter, the horse is here. It's just JJ McCarthy blankly
That's such
staring.
a problematic
9 is here.
Family Guy bit.
You tell me that's not JJ McCarthy, the blankly staring horse named 9?
If they
just absently, I'm here, guys.
9. Never give yourself a nickname in the NFL.
That was
Never,
when I knew
ever,
that this was
ever
done.
do it.
I tried to give him a little bit of a defense last week and say that, like, hey, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if this thing works. But God, there's just, I don't care anymore. He is. I know that the game timeline has been so short that it's unfair to like just straight up give up on him. But he has been so bad. He now has to win back everybody's trust.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge that. It's normally if you're a rookie quarterback, you can play however the hell you want if you're a first rounder that first year, and you get a second. But he was hurt the first year, and now his second year, he's playing worse than a lot of rookies did.
God,
last
that's
year.
the craziest part about all this. I forgot that he's not even. It didn't even register with me. I know that he wasn't a rookie, but you just reminded me he's not a rookie.
Yeah, sitting in the building, learning.
What were you
for a
doing?
whole year.
What were you doing, JJ? What were you doing that whole time?
Sitting there digging in his butt. That's all he's been doing.
JJ digging in his butt, McCarthy.
Oh, Kevin's not looking. Time for me to dig in my butt. He turned around to the board. Oh, what's back here? Get me out of here.
JJ, get your hand out of your butt. JJ, hey.
That's class.
JJ, film is up here. JJ. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll talk to you later.